Vikas Khemani joining in this morning. He's founder and CIO of Carnelian Asset Management and Advisors. Vikas, a very good morning to you. Are you seeing some silver linings in what is happening right now, or is this truly a period of pain that will continue for some time from the Indian perspective?
This is, of course, uncertain times, global uncertainty, and I think taking a call on, how the war or the conflict will, how long it will go and what shape it will take would be probably, difficult. But I do believe that till the time this continues, it will be with an uncertain situation, and it will create, of course, cost for companies, businesses, short-term disruptions. It could cause some sort of margin pressure, different industries. So I think, and we've seen whenever these kind of periods come, we saw Ukraine war in 2022, quarter or so was a very heightened uncertainty, and then of course it started settling down. So I do think probably this can be a little shorter given the structure, but who knows? That's just a kind of guess. But the way situation is panning out, we have to watch out every single day. But for India perspective, I guess the biggest thing is the oil price, which we have to watch out. So far, it does not look alarmingly high, but who knows? We'll have to keep close watch on things, how they pan out.
Got it. Vikas, good morning. You rightly said that sometimes times are unpredictable, but the question therefore is, do you pay heed to perceptibly attractive valuations currently? Or is there a time for attractive valuations to be acted upon as well?
So Neeraj, I think, the way these are the best times if you ask me to do stock picking, because right now most of the stock prices don't necessarily, go up or down based on the fundamentals, but based on the short-term news flow and, and the fear. And those are the times when you can sit back and say, look, here is the stock that I've been monitoring. It does not change big time in the case of any, war from structural perspective. Those are the best times. I mean, the classic example I give during the Ukraine war, sorry, my bad, during the tariff war time, I remember one of our portfolio company, Aditya Birla Capital, went down from 225 to 150, and it had no implication on from tariff perspective. And today, in less than a year's time, the stock is up to 350 or so. So I think these are the kind of situation which offer definitely great ideas, opportunities from a stock picking perspective, and that's where one should keep focusing on.
Okay. So Vikas, it's a valid point. In which case, okay, my question would be: would you go in for, let's say, a predictable growth which might be not as cheap, versus maybe some of the stories that got damaged because of temporary reasons and might be available at a really good valuation? I mean, for example, energy transition theme, almost everything has been decimated despite the fact that the targets for 29, 2030, etc. stay, and it seems to be non-negotiable because India is on that path. So a lot of them have been really badly hit. How do you kind of put in incremental capital to work?
I think, again, you have to put capital to work with the sectors you are quite positive. The predictability of the growth is there in the near term or future term, in the future. And the even if there's a short-term impact on the business because of the uncertainty, so be it. You have to overlook that. The sector you mentioned probably not corrected because of the current situation, but more because of the, I think, expectation of the oversupply in the market. I mean, that's my my sense. So there are different sectors. There would be sectors like, I think somebody was talking about that, let's say in banking, does not change structurally anything. From a long-term perspective, of course, for all, stock might go down a little bit, but if you like a particular bank or sector or company, you might look at, investing at this point in time, because if you overlook 6 months down the line, once the dust settles down, I'm sure the story will be back to the normal growth, India growth, which has no implication on the overseas conflict going on. So I think there would be many companies which have kind of either got impacted by the sentiment or got impacted by the business from a short-term perspective, but long-term doesn't change. Those are the businesses to be bought.
What IT? Are those one of the businesses to be bought that you would include, Vikas? Some love for IT today in a very bad day. maybe that AI threat is looking less severe than the threat all other companies are facing in relative terms. But is there any kind of positive view there?
So I think IT, our view has been that, the current AI disruption may not be as bad as markets are making out to be from a long-term perspective. But yes, of course, all the companies have to go through the transition, change, adaptation, whatever needed to be done. And to that extent, right now, markets have kind of corrected significantly. And we have seen this time and again happening in many sectors. We are watching again there. The key thing will be which company you think will be able to adapt and come out on the other side better. Those are the companies to be betted upon. But yes, because IT sector corrected significantly in the previous in the recent past, and this particular event does not have as particular much impact on IT services, and only it helps in terms of bit of a currency value, devaluation or currency weakness. And to that extent, I think we are finding it. But long-term question about the growth and which company would come out winner has to be kind of tested, checked out. And we're doing our work on that. We own some stocks, but we are underweight still. At some point in time, as and when we get convinced about which companies are going to be winner, we will be kind of increasing our stake there.
Vikas, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining in, and we hope to speak to you soon. Hopefully, things will settle down earlier than later. Vikas Khemani there saying spot long-term potential and keep that conviction.